Right, hi, it's Tuesday, a little bit of an update. So I've got an appointment tomorrow at the hospital for a follow-up meeting. Hopefully from there they give me a certificate to fly home, fit to fly certificate. Because to be honest, I just can't wait to get home now. This is like solitary confinement. Sitting in my room all day is just driving me crazy. I try to keep busy and take myself off to a shopping mall just to kill time. Just walking around different shopping malls. They're all the same, same shops. The biggest problem for me mentally is not talking to anybody, because the kind of person that I am, I need to be having social engagement. Some people might say, wow, I can't believe that you're not happy sitting around a pool all day in Dubai. Some people would love that, and I would love it for a holiday. But day after day after day, I've been here now for nearly 3 weeks. And some of my colleagues have come and visited me, which is great. One of my colleagues came a couple of days ago and spent a few hours with me, and that was great. Another one of my colleagues is on the way, and he's going to spend an hour or so, maybe have a meal or something, and that'll be great. But then for the rest of the day, I'm on my own. As I say, sitting in my room is not the answer. Watching Netflix or YouTube. Coming down to the pool, there's nobody here. It's not particularly warm. The sun's gone down now. It's 5 o'clock. And even when the sun's out, I'm the only person laid around the pool. And whenever I lie down, I just fall asleep. So, yeah, I can't wait to get home now, just for normality. And this has taught me a lesson, actually, because I know I've got to be back out here again in December. And I know I've got to be back out here again in January. So part of me actually said, I'll spend Christmas out here. And that would have been a nightmare, because it would have been just like this is. Just day after day after day of spending time on my own. And I know that, there's people watching this saying, wow, there's places that you could go, there's bars and restaurants. But at the moment, for those of you that know me, you'll know that I spend the first 3 months of the year not drinking alcohol. So January's passed nearly, and I haven't had anything alcoholic since the start of the year. So I've got 2 months left to go on that, which is great. I did it last year and did it the year before, and it's great. It's a bit of a reset. And also, drinking out here in Dubai is hugely expensive. You could be looking at £15 for a pint of beer, which isn't what I want to be doing anyway. So, yeah, the choices are limited. As I say, the weather isn't the kind of weather where you would spend sitting around the pool. So, yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, tomorrow at the hospital they give me a fit to fly and I can go home on Thursday. So there you go, a bit of an update. Not really much of an update because not much has changed. But I have come to realise that my problem now isn't medical as such, because I feel fine in myself. There's no pain. The infection, I would say, has nearly cleared up. Hopefully the drugs will finish before the end of the week. And hopefully by the time that the weekend comes, they'll start to wear off, so I'll start to feel fairly normal. The problem physically is these drugs make you feel really woozy, like you've got cotton wool in your head. My hearing is really, really dull, like I've got cotton wool in my ears. And physically I'm walking around like I'm detached from my body. So it's like, it's a bit like if you've ever fainted, it's a bit like the seconds leading up to when you're about to faint. So you kind of feel a little bit lightheaded. But thankfully, I know I'm not going to faint. I just feel like that way. So, yeah, anyway, hopefully I can get back to normality for the weekend. Hopefully the drugs finish by the end of the week, and then everything will get back to how it should be. And then it's just a case of dealing with the NHS in the UK to get this tube taken out in the next 6 months, getting back to normal, getting back to work, and carrying on with normal life, because this is like torture. It's like solitary confinement. Anyway, thanks a lot for tuning into the update. I don't know whether there'll be any more. There probably won't, to be honest, because nothing's changing. So I think probably the next update will be me at home telling you how great things are and how everything's cleared up. But honestly, I'm so lucky, and I know I've said this before, I'm so lucky that I was here. I hate to think what would have happened if I was in the UK, because sepsis is a killer. And as far as the doctors are concerned in the UK, they literally just gave me some tablets and told me to go away and get better. So I don't know what would have happened. The doctor did say that he would send off my sample to the hospital for tests, and if I needed any further antibiotics, then they would email me, which they haven't. They've showed no interest whatsoever about how I am. And they must know that there's a problem, because the insurance company must have contacted the doctors for my records. But at no stage has anybody from the doctors contacted me and asked me how I am or anything. So I can only assume if I'd have been back in the UK now, I don't know. I don't know. I hate to say this, but we all know the reality of the NHS in the UK. I would have probably been on a trolley, sat in a corridor somewhere with the sepsis getting worse and worse and worse, and at some stage, I don't know, maybe they would have taken me to the ICU like they did here in Dubai, but I can virtually guarantee that that wouldn't have happened as quickly as it did in Dubai, because as soon as I checked in and as soon as they did the tests, within an hour I was on the ICU ward. Whereas seeing some of the statistics from people back in the UK showing me photos of the wait time, like 13 hours to get seen in A&E, in ER, 78 people ahead of them and things like that. I can only assume that it wouldn't have turned out very good. So I'm really thankful that I was in Dubai when this happened, because personally, I don't think that if I'd have been in the UK that I'd have been recording this video now. So that's how lucky I am. I'm a firm believer in fate, and I do honestly believe that it was my fate to recover. And that's the reason why that's the reason why I was in Dubai and in the ER in Dubai rather than in A&E or ER in the UK. I'd like to say that that's not true, but that's the way that I feel. So there you go, lucky, very, very lucky. Anyway, thanks for watching the update, and as I say, I don't know whether there will be another update until I get back to the UK. But anyway, take care. Thanks for watching. Bye.